Good afternoon, YouTube family. It's another day in paradise. I am not going to, I don't have on any makeup, so I don't want to scare you all. So I'm not going to put my face in the screen. I am wearing pink earrings. I don't know if you can see them or not, but I'm not going to put my face directly in the camera. I am going to adjust the computer. Just a second here, so you all can hopefully see me better. Let's see. How about now? Okay. All right. Okay. All righty then. So today is the day. You know what? Just a second. Let me make a few minor adjustments. Just a second here. Let me put a pillow. Okay. All righty then. Okay, now, good deal. So today is the day, and y'all, I'm sorry. Once again, it's okay. All right. So, yes, okay. Today's show is all about Mama's family, and I have the Mama's Family Reunion show on my television that I'm going to share with you all, but I wanted to discuss some fun facts about the show Mama's Family because I absolutely adored this show when I was a child. This show was an important part of my childhood because it was my favorite television show. And so I went on YouTube and I pulled up the Mama's Family Reunion show that I'm going to be showing you all in a moment. But I wanted to just briefly talk about some fun facts that I learned while doing some research, some fun facts about the show Mama's Family. So, where should I begin? Okay. Vicki Lawrence was the star of the show. And so Vicki Lawrence was the star of Mama's Family. And she got her big break through Carol Burnett. So Carol Burnett was a comedian and she did sketch comedy. So Vicki Lawrence's mother thought she was funny. And she also thought that Vicki resembled Carol Burnett. She thought Vicki Lawrence's mother thought that Vicki and Carol Burnett looked alike. So she wrote Carol Burnett a letter and she told her that Vicki was going to be in a talent show, and she invited Carol to come out to this talent show and watch Vicki. And Vicki Lawrence is a singer. I mean, she can sing. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me correctly, maybe Vicki was singing in a talent show. But anyway, Carol Burnett decided to come and meet Vicki Lawrence in person. And so Carol went to the talent show and she met Vicki Lawrence, and the rest is history. She thought she was impressed by Vicki Lawrence, and she invited her to join her on the comedy show tour that she was doing. And Vicki joined Carol, and again, the rest is history. Carol Burnett thought Vicki Lawrence was funny. So they ended up doing a skit, a mama skit, where Vicki was playing an old woman, and Carol Burnett, and I believe Ed Corman is his name. Some other comedians were her co-stars, and they were her children. And so they ended up So anyway, Carol Burnett and Vicki Lawrence were working together, and it was successful. So this skit that they were doing, where Vicki Lawrence was playing an old woman, it ended up becoming a show. And that's where Mama's Family was born. I believe they had a movie, a Mama's Family movie, where the movie was a drama. I believe it ended up being that Mama had died or something like that. But anyway, Mama's Family ended up being a television show. And so I believe the first year of the show was unsuccessful. So NBC showed Mama's Family for one season, and then they canceled it. And then after Mama's Family was canceled, NBC noticed that the show got more viewers in syndication. So I believe like during the summer, they were showing reruns of Mama's Family and more people were watching it. So the following year, they brought Mama's Family back, and it was a successful show. I believe Mama's Family had 6 seasons. In doing my research on Mama's Family, there were a few fun facts that I learned. And I have some things that I'm going to read to you, some fun facts that I learned about Mama's Family. But one of the things that's not on there that I learned just in my research on Mama's Family is that Carol Burnett and Vicki Lawrence had a falling out. I believe the creator of the show and Carol Burnett were married, and they ended up getting a divorce. And Carol disagreed with Vicki Lawrence continuing to work with him, since the relationship between him and Carol Burnett had ended, and Vicki chose to keep her job, so she continued the show and continued working with Carol Burnett's ex-husband. So that was one of the things that caused them to have a falling out. And also Carol Burnett decided not to continue the show. I believe Carol Burnett and Ed Corman were co-stars of Vicki Lawrence. They all worked together as comedians on the sketch comedy tour, but they decided, Ed Corman and Vicki Lawrence decided, Ed Corman and Carol Burnett decided after 2 seasons that they no longer were interested in doing the show. And so I believe Vicki Lawrence decided that it was time for her to do other things, that the role was extremely demanding and she no longer wanted to play Mama. So that's how Vicki Lawrence ended up no longer playing Mama. But as a child growing up, I loved the show. I believe Vicki Lawrence and the costume that she was wearing, I believe it reminded me of my grandmother, who wore a similar hairstyle when I was a child. So I think that's the reason why the show was so appealing to me. But I really enjoyed watching it, and I still watch reruns of Mama's Family to this day. I have to be in the mood for it though. But anyway, I have a few facts that I wanted to share with you, some fun facts that I learned about Mama's Family. And then I'm going to be showing you all this reunion show clip. And the characters, okay, let's go over the characters of Mama's Family. So we had Mama, who was played by Vicki Lawrence. We had her son, Bubba, who was played by Ken Berry. Her son, Vince, who was played by Ken Berry. And then Vince had a son named Bubba. That was Mama's grandson. I believe Bubba's real name was Alan. And then Vicki Lawrence, she had a neighbor named Iola, and Vince had a wife named Naomi. So those were the main characters in Mama's Family, and there were some other people that came and joined in with them as supporting actors. But here are some fun facts that I learned about the show. Number 1, Vicki Lawrence was in her 30s when she began playing Mama. This made her 16 years younger than her on-screen children. Number 2, Vicki wrote the theme song entitled Bless My Happy Home. Number 3, NBC canceled the show in 1985 and brought it back the following year due to its success in syndication. So that's what I was telling you out earlier. After they showed the reruns and people enjoyed the reruns, they decided to bring the show back for another season. Carol Burnett and Harvey Korman left after the first 2 seasons. So they let Vicki Lawrence run the show by herself, and they felt like she had enough experience and they had taught her enough that she can stand on her own. Number 5, Dorothy Lyman, who played Naomi on the show, was an actress on the soap opera All My Children. All My Children filmed in New York. Mama's Family filmed in Los Angeles, so Dorothy Lyman flew from coast to coast each week. So those are all the fun facts that I learned about Mama's Family, and now I'm going to turn this chair around and show you all some clips of the reunion show. Enjoy. All righty there. I think y'all can see that pretty good. All right.
For that to Dr. Joyce Brothers.
Was that the asparagus episode?
Yeah.
The asparagus malfunction.
That's Kim Berry.
Cheers. That's a table. I think.
Didn't the censors cut that?
That's Vicki Lawrence in the middle.
Cut?
Yeah, when you broke. You picked it up.
I picked up the spear of asparagus and it kind of went like that, and I burst into
Naomi,
tears.
that's Naomi.
But they cut it because we were having a what do they call it now? You can't get away from it on TV. Erectile dysfunction.
Oh, yeah.
They really say
Comes
that
on
in
during
TV
dinner.
commercials.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And the censors cut that. Yeah.
Who was Campanella? I don't remember.
He was her
one of my many boyfriends. I was a horny slut on the show. A lot of boyfriends.
He was a neighbor of mine. He had a big house and a bunch of boys, a bunch of sons. He's a good guy.
Really nice guy.
Yeah.
Has he left us now?
No, I not that I know. Yeah.
I did. I'm sorry. This is a digression.
But
I admit, but I died October 1st. Did you know that?
On the internet.
Last year.
Yeah, did you read that? I was reading about that. You told me that.
Yeah, I died. It was announced on Wikipedia that I October 1st in Santa Monica.
I don't know how that happened. You know,
Somebody
I was,
put it.
well,
It's a hoax. It's just a hoax.
my mother called me, and that was about the same time, and had heard that Vicki died.
That's
You
Bubba.
died.
That was Bubba. That's Vicki Lawrence.
Oh,
I don't
Somebody
That's
would've
Vicki
called me.
Lawrence.
It was
That's
about
Mama.
last year in the fall.
I don't
There's a
understand.
lot of hoaxes.
What would cause anybody to do that?
And they're sitting
I
in the
remember
kitchen.
years
They're
ago
on the
that
set.
happened
That's
in
Mama's
because
kitchen.
It was a jolt.
That's how
There was
Mama's
a
kitchen
tap
is.
teacher that used to work, and he had a studio way down in South LA. And his name was Willie Colban. He was a wonderful hoofer. And it was a great fun to take a lesson from him. And he became like a friend, you know. And he died. I picked up the paper. I was reading the Variety. And I know that I read that Willie had died. And so years later, I'm doing a special. Arthur Godfrey was on. I can't remember what it was about. But anyway, we were in this little theater. And suddenly from the back of the theater, somebody calls my name. And I look up, and Willie Colban is walking toward me. And I damn near had a heart attack. You know? Why do people do that? How can that happen? I know that happens on the internet. I know that it's infamous. But this was way before the internet. You know?
Yeah. No, this was all they have to do is change the Wikipedia page, and
Yeah.
you're dead.
Well, maybe somebody will change mine. I could use the publicity.
Yeah, right.
I need all the juice I can get.
Well, you're doing horror movies.
I am. I'm carving out a retirement making B horror films. Very happy about it.
Excellent.
It's a wonderful, it's a fun genre. It's a lot of fun. And
Yeah, it must be.
they pump out more horror movies than I don't know, than they do reality television shows or somewhat. But
We never did a horror.
so the community,
Yeah, we did Rebecca.
horrifying.
We did Rebecca.
Rebecca.
We did?
Yeah. Where the picture, you know that old movie where the picture and the thunder and lightning? I'm sure we did.
Yeah, we sure
I'm sure
did.
you're right.
That was one of our fantasy shows we were talking about earlier, when it was a dream sequence or something. And Joe Campanella, as a matter of fact, was in that episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't explain the popularity of vampires. I mean, what happened there? They're all, I mean, movie stars, vampires. What's so appealing about a vampire?
They're pretty cute, I guess.
Well, what is it? How does it eat? Sleep all day, party all night, live forever. It's fun to be a vampire.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, there you go. Something to
I
aspire
think
to.
that was from the Lost Boys.
Well, we've really digressed.
We're going totally
Where
different.
did we go?
Oh boy.
Well,
All right.
I'll start.
Who am I? Who was he?
I mean, everybody thought I was the dumb blonde on the show. And actually, I think Bubba was what normally is a part played by a Marilyn Monroe character. I always thought of him as the gorgeous, but mentally somewhat challenged, sort of sex symbol or whatever of the show. He was just a regular guy.
Piece of eye candy, not terribly bright.
Not terribly.
Two strikes against you. Eunice and Ed were your parents. Unless you got out of Raytown sometime after this show ended, I'm afraid. Not good. Not good.
Not a good start.
Probably still living with your grandma.
So both guys were kind of stupid.
How dare you? No, Bubba hadn't lived much. He had an excuse. He was a youngster, and he was all green and innocent. And there's a lot of appeal in that part of the character too, I thought. But when you get to be Vince's age and you haven't progressed, not much.
But you can probably hope for Bubba that he got out of there, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he's nice looking and you tried a lot. You tried a lot of different things. Maybe one of them stuck. Who knows after that show went off the air?
Yeah, I think probably he landed somewhere. I think he landed on his feet. I always took him as not being terribly unintelligent, just he was going 9 million different directions
Well,
at
he was very
one
naive.
time. Yeah, naive. And
Young, he was just young, really young.
it was fun to play. And I was 22 when I got the part, so I mean, I wasn't that far out of adolescence as it was anyway.
Yeah.
Still haven't graduated, but it was a fun character. I related to him. I knew him. Well, Beverly Archer is one of the most intelligent women I've ever known and very, very practical. But what I thought she brought to Iola was an extreme impractical practicality. That makes any sense. And she would make things out of dryer lint because it was free and it was very abundant, evidently, in your house. And she had done things like that and made little cozies for everything. And it was all very practical, but at the same time, kind of nonsensical. I don't know.
Did you live alone with your mom? Just the two of you?
I always had that in my head, but
Yeah.
there was a reference in one episode where I said where daddy left, as if he's just gone out of the house for the day. So
But you were the spinster woman.
absolutely.
Taking care of your parent or
Yeah.
parents.
I think just mom, eventually just mother.
And by God, making the best of it. I wish I had the collection of stuff you made for Mama. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and who knew there was such a thing as a vacuum cleaner code? It actually exists in mail order catalogs. Iola was ahead of her time.
Cheerful. She was cheerful. She was always cheerful, wasn't she? I think always
She
cheerful.
was cheerful. I think she had.
You were in love with Bill.
I was in love with Vint,
Mhm.
and I think that it was, the practicality that you're talking about. I always thought she was this very frustrated, not being able to be creative. She had a very tiny life, and which is why she invaded Mama's house every 10 seconds because she had nothing at home except this. For the audition. And that's why I said when I couldn't place where these people were from or what. I thought, good Lord, what is this accent?
Hey, I apologize, y'all. The reunion show is not clear. So we'll have to revisit that at some other time. Is the reunion show is not as clear as I wanted it to be. So some other time we'll go back over that, but they were just kind of talking about the characters and the characters were introducing themselves. So you all got the gist of it. So I'm about to finish doing my laundry and prayerfully, hopefully, you guys have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.